Hey folks, Dave Parrish here at Knack Builders. If you like this video, please, subscribe to my site or my YouTube channel. But today's topic, I'm going to jump right into it. Prepping a spreadsheet for import into your Knack database. So you built your app and you have data, maybe historical data or lists of customers or something that you want to bulk import, so you don't have to do one by one. I'm going to show you how to prep a spreadsheet for that. I have a few topics here: names and addresses, how to deal with connections, multiple choices, a few of these, and I'm going to get into that in just a minute. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. Let's talk about prepping or issues with getting a spreadsheet ready to turn into a CSV and then import. I'm going to talk about name and address fields first. These are special fields that have multiple parts in it. It's likely that you're going to use a name field instead of a text field somewhere in there in your app. But what I find, I'm just going to give you an example here, that when clients are sending me their spreadsheets to import, all this takes a lot of, sometimes it's simple, sometimes it's complex, sometimes it's really hairy. But this is a fairly simple thing. You get your names of people to be a column in one of your spreadsheets, and they're together, last name, first name. That's going to cause a problem if you're trying to do a two-part first name, last name field, which is more robust. You can do more stuff with it, so you likely are going to have it. To deal with this, you select your data, and you do something in Excel called text to column. And in this case, we want to delimitate it, meaning we're going to tell it when to split these up. And in this case, it works with a space. We're going to go to next. Sometimes there's other delimitators, but in this case, it's a space. And if I do that, it breaks them up. So now you might have to copy these whole columns, put in another spreadsheet, perform this function to split it up, add another column to your main spreadsheet, and then put it back in there. But that's what this does, and it's helpful. Sometimes you have names, maybe a last name has two last names, or there's a middle initial in there. You'll have to deal with some of that static, but this helps a lot with that. Now addresses, let's jump onto that. Find my addresses. I get this a lot too. They're all in one field. Street, state, zip, city, whatever, and they're not in a real delimited fashion, meaning they're in all kinds of formats. And if you're trying to do it by a space or whatever, let's just do it real quick. Let's do this. Tell it to delimitate by a space, and you can see here it just makes a mess out of it. Chances are, if you're lucky, you can break this up in the fields you need, but rather there's services out there. Let me go find it right here. There's a bunch of them. They're called parsing. Parsing means it's taking something and splitting it up. So if you uploaded this, which is just like I had in that spreadsheet, it can figure out, I don't know how it does it, what should be what. And then we'll put it in the city, state, postal address, street address. And then you can go put that into back into your main spreadsheet, and hopefully that works. Another one here, look at my list, unique IDs. It's always best to have a unique ID. This may merge in with some of the other topics here. This is a list of clients, and you may want to, I've hidden some of the stuff here. You can use their first name, last name, and also how this can be displayed, your display field, if you know what that is. We have first name, last name, but how this could appear you can make a setting to make it a, let's just do one. Let's do STARKER, comma, TI, Timmy. This is how you can set it to be displayed. Now, names aren't good unique identifiers. Rather, you might want, when you're dealing with your import, I have this blocked out because they're real numbers, a unique ID. And that's easier to match on. Let me find one here. Okay, this is a list of clients, and this is a list of orders. Client orders. So in this case, if you were matching it on this, you'd have Starker, comma, Timmy. Client, this is a order and a client over here. So one to many. One client can have many orders. And this is listing all these orders. This is the connected field. And if you're matching based on this, which you can do, you're going to have to make sure that they're spelled correctly. Meaning there's no, the exact same spelling has to be there. There isn't a trailing space. Let me do an example, like right here, a trailing space. If that wasn't the same in the list of your actual clients, it wouldn't match. Rather, in this one, if it's possible, sometimes this just isn't possible because you don't have this data outside of Knack formatted correctly. You'd rather have each of these be the unique ID number for that client. It's a better way to match it. And all you have to do is have it present here. And when you're doing the import, and I'll have another video on how to do the import. This is just how to prep your spreadsheets. But when you're doing the import and it's a connected field, you can choose which ones to say, here's how I want it connected. And if you had this unique ID number here, you'd say, okay, I want to connect it to here. So that's that. Let me get on to another one. I've sort of covered a few of there. The other thing, order of imports. I just showed you those two spreadsheets, one with the client and one with client orders, and they're connected. One client can have many orders. Well, it's a parent-child relationship. The order of you uploading your stuff, you should always do the parent first in any of those connections. Obviously, because if you try to import the client orders prior to order or uploading the clients, it won't be able to go find them. So that's what you have to do it in that order. Also, I'm going to just touch on some advanced topics here. One of them is files. That's a hard one. Files don't exist in a spreadsheet. Data in a cell does. And I haven't figured out a way how to do files. Images. How Knack handles images is you upload an image, but it immediately it puts it on a server on Amazon and turns it into a URL. You can upload a URL, but most people don't have URLs of their various images. Like if you had a client and you wanted a photo of them. I think there's some services out there that you can, sort of like that parsing thing I just showed you. If you had you'd have to have a unique ID number for your client, and then a list, and somewhere on the cloud, Google Drive or wherever, you have pictures, and each of those pictures has the unique ID of that. And I think there's some services out there that will go do that. It will go, you will tell it where to go look at the pictures, you will tell it how to match up with the list of clients, and it will go and one after another make a URL out of that, then return all those URLs, and I'll match the client, and then you can do it like that. Images. Another one is if you have many-to-many relationships, or you can choose more than one value, like in a checkbox situation. Those are put in the cell with the value, then a comma, then a space, then value. And if you continue, they're delimited with commas. You have to make sure you prep, if you're going to upload, they have to be in that format, the comma separated stuff. But that's what I got today. I hope you enjoyed. Appreciate it. Thanks.